and welcome back. I'd like to talk about to do or not to do lists. Many people swear by lists, but others say, no, that doesn't really work for me. Well, the studies show that actually writing lists can be really, really useful, right? And why is that useful? Well, first of all, it can reduce our anxiety. One of the things we might get anxious about is forgetting what we need to do. And second, we might be anxious about not completing what we are meant to do. So in that sense, when everything is written down, it's much easier to then know what we have to do. And that decreases our anxiety straight away. It can also give us structure and plan, right? So we all need that structure and plan. And having that list, it's actually a mini plan, right? So that's where it can be helpful too. Also, at the end of the day, once you tick off everything that you've done, it makes you feel like you achieved something, and it shows you actually exactly what you've achieved. They need to be simple. Then you need to write down very specifically what is it that you want to do on your to-do list, right? So being in contact with mom more often is not an item that should be on to-do list, but ringing mom once a day at 11 o'clock might be more useful because it's very specific. It's also known that when you write it down, people actually perform better when they write down what they need to do. So once you've wrote down really specific what you're going to do, you then can prioritize. So you can either write it down in order of how you would like to do it, or you can basically write down everything you need to do for that day or that morning or that month, whatever it is, and then put numbers next to it in terms of what comes first and the order of that. And then as you go, you can also cross them out. So that's what makes it really kind of tidy, nice, and simple. People often avoid doing the most boring or most challenging tasks. And for some people, that works really well in the sense that they write it all down, they know they have to do it, but they might choose to do some of the easier bits first to get themselves into the right kind of mood. For some people, it's actually the opposite, and they prefer, now that they have it all written black on white, they prefer to basically tackle the things that are the most challenging and most boring first, so that then they can relax a little bit more and deal with the other stuff on their list. It's interesting that some people find lists overwhelming. So I have clients who say, but when I have when I write a list, I get really panicky because I feel like I have to do everything that's on the list. It doesn't have to be that way because you can actually break it down into manageable lists. So you can have one list for Monday that only has 3 items on it. You can have one on Tuesday that have 3, 4, or 2 even to do items on it. So you can actually manage it so that if to-do lists increase your overwhelm, you can actually decrease it by using the same strategy, but breaking it down a little bit more. So another useful tip is that if you are writing a list, break it down into manageable goals. So, for example, writing a novel on your list is going to be overwhelming. So, outlining the first chapter is probably much more manageable, and because of that, you're more likely to do it. So, good luck with your lists and try them out and see how they work for you.